Hope you're having a good day. Today is day 1 of week 1 here in the month of December. I want to spend this month talking about the birth of Christ. Kind of makes sense being that it's December. It's his birthday, simply the topic for the month. Decided to worship Jesus at Christmas. Tony writes to kick off the month, before Christmas was a holiday, it was a birthday. Unfortunately, this has gotten lost. Apart from a few religious ceremonies, Christmas is primarily a time for sinning and shopping. For many people, Christmas is big business, and the birth of Christ is secondary. If you want to make sure that doesn't happen in your heart, if you want to worship Christ for Christmas, it has to be a decision on your part. In these final weeks together, I want to help you do that by looking at the biblical story of Christmas. Our subtopic for today, being day 1, is an important list. Galatians 4:4, as the kickoff scripture says, when the fullness of the time came, God set forth his Son, born of a woman. The scripture we're going to read is going to be in Matthew chapter 1. We're going to read verses 1 through 17. Again, an important list is the subtopic for today. We're going to go through the genealogy of Christ as our scripture. If I get some of his names wrong, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. So, anyhow, Matthew chapter 1, verses 1 through 17. The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac, and Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers. And Judah the father of Perez, and Zerah by Tamar, Perez the father of Hezron, and Hezron the father of Ram, and Ram the father of Amminadab, and Amminadab the father of Nahshon, and Nahshon the father of Salam, and Salam the father of Boaz by Rahab, and Boaz the father of Obed by Ruth, and Obed the father of Jesse, and Jesse the father of David the king. And David was the father of Solomon by the wife of Uriah, and Solomon the father of Rehoboam, and Rehoboam the father of Abijah, and Abijah the father of Asa, and Asaph the father of Jehoshaphat, and Jehoshaphat the father of Joram, and Joram the father of Uzziah, and Uzziah the father of Jotham, and Jotham the father of Ahaz, and Ahaz the father of Hezekiah, and Hezekiah the father of Manasseh, and Manasseh the father of Amos, and Amos the father of Josiah, and Josiah the father of Jehoconiah and his brothers at the time of the deportation to Babylon. And after the deportation to Babylon, Jeconiah was the father of Shealtiel, and Shealtiel the father of Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel the father of Abiud, and Abiud the father of Achilium, and Achilium the father of Azor, Azor the father of Zodok, and Zodok the father of Achim, and Achim the father of Eliad, and Eliad the father of Eleazar, and Eleazar the father of Mahathan, and Mahathan the father of Jacob, and Jacob the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom Jesus was born, who is called Christ. So all the generations from Abraham to David were 14 generations. And from David to the deportation to Babylon, 14 generations. And from the deportation to Babylon to the Christ, 14 generations. That's where we stop in our scripture. A lot of Jewish names in there. Okay, Tony writes, again, an important list is our subtopic for today. We're talking about the birth of Christ this month. Tony writes, you're probably wondering why we are starting our Christmas devotional series with genealogies. Simple answer, because that's where the New Testament starts. See, the Christmas story doesn't begin with Matthew 1:18 or Luke 1:26. It begins with the book of genealogy of Jesus Christ in Matthew chapter 1, verse 1. Now we're not going to work our way through all these names in the two lists, so relax. What I want you to see today is that the preparation for the birth of Jesus Christ reveals the sovereignty of God in an unforgettable way. The other list you can read is in Luke 3, verses 23 through 38. Every name on these lists tells a story of how God controlled, ruled, and overruled in the affairs of people and nations to accomplish His will in the incarnation of His Son. Paul was right on target when he said Jesus was born not a minute too early or too late. He was right on God's time. Matthew's record shows that Jesus was related by royalty to David. Luke's genealogy reveals that Jesus was related to David by family. Matthew says Jesus tied to David through Solomon, so he had a legitimate right to the throne. Luke says that Jesus was related to David through David's other son, Nathan, which is Mary's line. So Jesus was the heir to David's throne and a son of David through his family. To arrange all this, God had to do some sovereign matchmaking. He also had to deal with an incredible array of people, good and not so good, over many hundreds of years to set the stage of history for Jesus' arrival. The genealogies of Jesus reveal another beautiful facet of God's character, His grace. There are some messed up folk on Matthew's list. David's name is here. He was guilty of adultery and murder. Bathsheba is there too. Solomon is also present, the king who loved many foreign women. He also read the name of Rahab the prostitute. And what about Manasseh? He was a wicked king for 45 long years. Do you see the grace of God in action? He never excuses sin. He never excuses sin, but He forgives and uses imperfect people. That means He can use us. In the Think About It section, Tony writes, no matter how you've messed up, God can bring something good from your life if you'll give yourself to Him. That sums it up for today. We're going to keep on, kind of trucking through here, talking about the birth of Christ. So, you all have a great day. God bless you.